Hello, good day. It is a Two of Diamonds week. It has been a crazy week. So Two of Diamonds is a card of values and cooperation, and it can have a sense of worry, fear behind all twos as well, right? So between the 8th and the 14th are the dates of the Two of Diamonds week that we will be looking at. This is one of those weeks where I kind of like the fact that we is recording at the end of the week and not at the beginning of the week, because I do find it cool to also link events from earlier to show the validity of the science, but also I like to link and study the cards based on the experience, because hindsight is 2020 a lot of times, right? Um, so with the Two of Diamonds week, I spoke a little bit. I was on my live yesterday. I've been speaking about Two of Diamonds mentor that I had, and who is a Sash Two of Diamonds, if you know Gaza, and she has a non-profit radio station, grassroots movement, with the Malcolm X. Formerly the Malcolm X Center will be moved to her new location with the radio station. Okay. Um, so yeah, so she was my mentor. She was a lawyer. Okay, Two of Diamonds can be deal with law, cooperation, legality. Also deals with the Six of Clubs. It has the Eight of Clubs. Has the Jack of Spades. It has the Four of Spades. So with the Two of Diamonds, they can be great arguers. They can be argumentative, debative a lot of times as well. They're pretty dope. So she was in the field of law. As you can see, the Jack of Spades behind, Two of Diamonds right above my head. But let me bring it up. Their full spread. Mm. And if you did not get to catch last week, we spoke about the Ace of Diamonds as well. And Two of Diamonds can have an attitude also. It can be kind of feisty. Things can get kind of rough with the Two of Diamonds energy. It has Jack of Spades, Eight of Spades, especially with Jack of Spades when they're young. Whew. What's going on, Mike? Mike Alba. Uh, Let me show you the Two of Diamonds spread, the topic in the conversation of today, what everybody spread. As people been getting the documents out from our website, cardologylife.com, um, I do have the life spread and the life cycles for sale for a small cost. And there has been questions on how to read it. A lot of times, these documents do not come with instruction manuals. So that's why we have classes a lot of times to teach you how to read this particular things. Everything that we spoke about last week from Ace of Diamonds, everything that we spoke about previously from on the last videos have all been mostly from this spread, and also from the book as well. From the book and this particular spread. Okay, so as you can see here, the Two of Diamonds. You can see my mouse going around. The one on the left, the smaller one. That's the Two of Diamonds spread. All right. A minute ago, I just said it can get debative or feisty. You gotta look at where the Two of Diamonds sit. It sits Mars. Okay. Mars is war action, right? Um, Brotherhood comes with the King of Hearts. So there's a sense of brotherhood that comes in all these cards. Dealing with men it can get violent. I might as well say Mars can get violent, right? It can be kind of bloody. As you can see, the week kind of got bloody, right? So this is where the Two of Diamonds sit. Okay, whenever you're looking at this card, so the stubbornness, feistiness, all that happens very, very kind of early in their childhood. You know, they can be very smart, inquisitive, smart, intuitive. But the Eight of Clubs and just being in a Mars position with the Eight of Diamonds support, that can be a little stubborn. Maybe less selfish, they say, than the other twos, but still, you know, um, you show the Ace of Diamonds, being fixed in your ways. Um, So yeah, so this is mainly what we read from. So everything from this left column on the right column is in the Mars column. Then you have a lower column. There is a way that you can read it. If you know astrology, it can be very simple. And actually, this is like a cheat code for astrology. If you know how to read this, you can read conjunctions, basically. Squares, conjunctions, all of that kind of comes from here. So this past week, um, like I was saying, it did get kind of combative with the Donald Trump situation that actually happened on Two of Diamonds Day, and we looked at it, but we just didn't look at it. We was already saying that he can have difficulties in the public. Uh, there can be issues or interruptions and something because of the Seven of Spades and Uranus. So Donald Trump is a three of diamonds. Last week, I don't know if I stated or if you heard me, but the three of diamonds does have a karmic relationship with the two of, two of diamonds also. He's 78. Yeah. So last week, Gina was when you looked at the spread when you first seen it, you was like, "Uh oh." Mainly because that three of diamonds is displacing the
Nine of
nine of,
spades. Yeah.
and we also stated we don't want to kill off a president, right?
But you know what, Rashad, too, that I've noticed, like the two of diamonds, I pay attention to when people transition a lot. And, it was something when I first got into this space, I found like I became a little obsessive about it. There's certain things that I want to look at and what, you can kind of see with it. But I was sitting with myself today, and I was like, why do people, we've had, not just what happened with Trump, but we also had three people transition this week, celebrity wise. You had Shannon Doherty, Richard Simmons, is that his name? The fitness guy. And then Dr. Ruth, right? All in a two of diamonds week. And I'm like, what is that? And then I thought about it. I was like, oh, maybe it's that challenging six of clubs because it's all about fate. It's all about timing. It's all, and the six of clubs transforms to the ace of spades, a death card essentially. So, because I was like, what is it about the two of diamonds that we're seeing a lot of people passing on? And so I'm looking at the spread, and when it hit me that it has, I think, a lot to do with the six of clubs being the challenging karma card to the two of diamonds, because you'll
Mhm.
find that people, it's all about that. It's a timing thing. You know what I mean? An alignment, I think. So yeah, that was my take on that. Then you add what happened to, and from what I saw somewhere, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but the gentleman that, you know, uh, did what he did, I believe he's 20. And from what I saw, he's a four of clubs. I don't know if that's been confirmed or not, but I did see somewhere online that someone had found his birthday as he's a four of clubs.
We can look that up. If anybody's,
That's funny because the three diamonds transforms into the four clubs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then if you look at plate 20, what's sitting in the sun is the three of diamonds, and what's sitting Jupiter is the four of clubs. And that's how old he was. And he had the nine of hearts and Pluto, and he was transforming into the nine of spades. And I was like, well,
Run that back. I'm sorry. So you said who was transforming into who?
so
I know you said the two of diamonds, the three of diamonds transformed into the four of clubs, and he may be a four of clubs.
he may be a four of clubs. And if you look at 20, because that's his age, you'll see that the four of clubs, I believe, is sitting in the sun. The three of diamonds, no, I'm sorry, the four of clubs sits Jupiter, and the three of diamonds is in the sun on that plate, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
So we always say that anything in the sun is regarding or pointing to the government. I believe the last time we spoke to that was a King of Clubs video, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Anything in the sun is politics, government, you know. So that's interesting for him to shoot for a president in the sun, okay, in a political thing. But what if it's fake though? What was it if it was all fake? But if he is a full clubs, that does make sense at 20, because you know he even still political or government association could develop with the eight of diamonds in the sun. And you said what else about his spread is interesting?
Nine of hearts is Pluto. If he's the four of clubs, right? The Pluto card for him was the nine of hearts at age 20. He transforms to the nine of spades.
Oh yeah.
Five of spades was the Mars card. Five of diamonds sitting trans Pluto. Those can be cards of like snapping or just kind of being off your rocker, if you will, or just kind of, very intense energy.
Yeah. Eight of spades is definitely a bully. Five of spades is stalking. I don't know why it's sharing my whole screen on my whole tab. Does it have it on here twice? No. Okay. But yeah, it can be stalking, be a bully in a certain type of way. So let me slow it down. So what's this? I need to use this a little
And
bit
the Jack
more.
of Diamonds is his Mercury card too. So it's just really, if that's his card, I'm not 100% sure. I just saw it somewhere. I know they were using his name, which equaled to be a King of Hearts. And I guess you could look at that as well at age 20, actually sitting in the house of the Jack of Diamonds. So even more fascinating, right? Which would then make the Pluto card, I believe, the five of diamonds for him. Yeah, because that's the 10 of clubs is the natural Jack of diamonds Pluto card. So the five of diamonds would be his Pluto card. The result card, three of diamonds. So either way you look at it, like it's pretty interesting. On top of it, I know Aquarius had mentioned about going back to the eclipse day, which is the King of Diamonds. And the King of Diamonds Mars card is the two of diamonds. It was on a two of diamonds day in a two of diamonds week. So
From the King of Diamonds being the Mars card for the
if you go back to when this energy really kind of starting to bubble, I guess, or being sparked around the eclipse, which was a King of Diamonds day. And if you look at the Mars card to the King of Diamonds for life is the two of diamonds. This happens on a two of diamonds day in a two of diamonds week.
what sign was the eclipse in? Was it in
Aries, I believe.
Aries? So that was already pointing to the assassination or something to a leader anyway, with the eclipse in Aries. I believe if we was on YouTube, I'm pretty sure we spoke about it around that time period. We'll go back, rewind. Yeah. So that kind of points to that also. So I can see that. I can definitely see that. But yeah, for years 20, that I can see that also. Let me go back to also Trump's chart. If I can go now. I may be frozen. I was doing too much. I know I was clicking too many things. All right, 1 second. And I can't see when I'm on the screen. I can't see y'all. Hello, Madeline.
Hi, Sean. Well, there's this astrologer I was listening to, and he went live yesterday talking about what's happening, and he was literally screaming that astrology is real, and it's kind of like the same thing that the cards are saying. Like so many of the things point to the same stuff. There seems to be real timing to everything, and then the other things that I listen to in regards to how to manage these changing times, it's all about how we respond to it, right? Because when you can recognize that it's gonna happen and it is happening and that it's so refined and so detailed, it's kind of crazy, then it's still like, so how are you going to respond? Because that means that it is happening and you have to learn to regulate and master yourself in a way that you can respond and do whatever it is you're going to do when you're here, whoever you're here to be, whatever your choices are, right? So I think about that a lot when I hear all these stories. I'm like, boy, how are we all going to respond? Like his big thing was, we're so lucky he didn't die, because if he was assassinated, there'd be violence in the streets.
That's what I went to the beach. It's how I respond to any and everything in my life. And not that this isn't my life by any means, but this is what I do. I went to the beach yesterday and today. So that's my solution for most anything.
Staged violence, I can see that. I even go to the fact that this thing could have been staged as well. I'm still too convinced. And man,
well,
because
go ahead.
His transformation was into the King of Hearts, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go back to his age spread. I don't remember specifically.
Who?
We just looked at it briefly when I was on Instagram Live.
Whose transformation? Trump or the kid?
Trump. Donald Trump's.
Oh, this year
yeah, just because the shooter and the kid, like all that information. I want to know who your parents are. I need a birth certificate. I need to know you real, because this would be the perfect stage opportunity. Like even you said it last week. Even looking at his spread, just in the United States spreads, it has the Ace of Spades and Mercury, right? So you were saying it can be a spiritual time for him, and the Jack of Hearts for the Three of Diamonds is Saturn also, so he wants to be the savior, as you said. That's
and look what week we're about to go into.
The Three of Diamonds week, his stage.
So he's gonna. All you're gonna see is this, like, savior. He'll probably come out. He'll definitely probably address it. I would literally bet that he would address it this week for sure, if he hasn't already.
No, yeah, he hasn't said anything so far.
The other thing they said, which I thought was so interesting, is they use something called zodiac something or others that they get inside the system. Zodiac, moments or something. And so one of the high points of what's gonna come for Donald Trump is April 20th of 2025. So based on his charts and things and so he was saying, he goes, he's been the president, he's been famous, he's a billionaire. Like, what else? It's got to be like a savior thing, like a Jesus thing, like what else can you be in a lifetime? So it's interesting that you guys relate to that.
That's funny. But yeah, that's how people would look at them. That's how we kind of see them within the cards. So that's just I see someone else kind of speak about it as well, about your reputation. The mark and how you're remembered is your character and your reputation are two of the most important things. Oh yeah, Zodiac. That was the lady that I posted not too long ago as well. But she goes into the archetypes of personality and the cards and numerology, right? So this is mainly what we're looking at. That's what the cards look at. What's the impression that you leave behind? What are the characteristics that you play out? And he plays cards very well. And that's the only reason a lot of times why we look at these cards. I know you work with people a lot. So people are on different levels as far as how they handle themselves, handle certain things, you know. So that's a lot of times these examples and why we look at it is for also you to reflect upon your personal journey, your personal life, you know, and see the resemblance because you know you hold and you emit certain energy and you can be resembled and remembered in these type of ways as far as like a third diamond. See, like he's been on TV, he's done this, he's done that. The three of diamonds is like the opportunist, you know, in a lot of senses. You know, they can be they're going to do a lot of different things. So yeah, it's the perfect stage for him to go into this week as far as the three of diamonds week. And the reason we do say that the three of diamonds is the savior, if you don't know, is because of Gina.
What I do?
Is a jack of heart.
Wait, what I
I
do?
said you're the reason. I say you're the reason he's the savior
Oh,
because of the Jack of Hearts and Saturn. And that's a service oriented. So I know a lot of people look at it as like, oh, he is all about him. There's some, you know, ace of spades, you know, some thinking about oneself, self preservation, and then, but it's also the Jack of Hearts. You know, it's you know we also got out of it last week with him displacing the nine of spades, with him fulfilling a mission. Also, he was displacing nine of spades in his personal yearly, right?
I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah.
yeah, and the ten of he was placing the ten of spades and the United States and Neptune or the king or the queen of clubs. I believe it was the ten of clubs, ten of spades. So yeah, he was displacing nine of spades. So this is also a fulfillment. And what does the three of diamonds have in Neptune? The nine of spades. So it is a fulfillment, you know, kind of like the astrologer said. He's not wrong. I have too many tabs open.
No, no, no. You're definitely not wrong. I mean, that's the whole thing he was talking about. Is like we don't want to get split in these things. That's the whole thing. Like he's trying to play another side to something, and as long as we stay in the sides, it'll always be convoluted. You know what I mean? Because he's basically just using all of his opportunities to use everything he can to help people the way he thinks he can help.
Yeah. We talking about the two of diamonds, also the ace of diamonds. Is the ace of diamonds is one of those energies where the selfishness they can lead one to doom. You know, out of thinking that they're doing something good for everyone, but it's out of their own selfishness or greed. You know, but I think they're doing it for a humanitarian aspect. That's like Hitler's card. He thought he had a purpose, but he was really, um, what was you looking
Well, he was has a purpose. I mean, like some
for?
of what Donald Trump has done, Donald Trump has really said, look what you can do. Like, look at what I can do. Like, because I mean, he's got a lot of chutzpah. Like he just doesn't like let go down easy. He has a lot of stamina. He's incredibly resilient. He sneaks, he plays to some degree, but he also uses the terrain to show us the terrain. He's turned a lot of lights on. I'm not saying I believe he's our leader. I think we all have to learn to be emotionally sovereign leaders and then be able to join together in a different way. But I do think he was a resourceful man who used his personality and his position to speak about whatever he wanted to speak about.
Yeah, he has an Ace of Spades Mercury. That's also what I was speaking towards last week within the United States spreads within that transformation. I was saying there's going to be a little bit of fear behind what he may say as well. I mean, I still this whoever the shooter is, I don't think he acted alone. Um, yeah, so if anything, it was constructed by our government or constructed by Trump. That's what I
Well,
think.
and what's her name? I had seen. I was scrolling and I had come across what's her name. Oh, it's not coming to me right now, but she was speaking about how, like, the fact that this person was able to get as close as he did, right? And like, if you've ever been to an event, when it comes to, like she was saying, security, especially Secret Service, like they scope out, they're there days before, they're looking at every angle, every possibility, every, you know, and we'll say, oh, that might be a sensitive spot, we need to put more people here. So the fact that, you know, they're saying that this person was able to get as close as he did, you know, uh, whatever, you know, whatever the case may be, right? You know, the cards are going to show it no matter what. And I think uh, the world is a stage, right? And we're all in a video game here. We're all playing on different levels. And, you know, this is definitely going to be an interesting level to be on these next few months with and this is just really, you know, the United States just had its birthday, so we're just getting started with this. And you know, it's gonna be fun.
Hmm. Yeah, so I just feel like it's all it's organized to a certain extent, but he plays his cards. So either he played this out or they did. So yeah, so he transforms into the King of Hearts, um, which is the actor card as well in Jupiter. So I think that's why I said that he could have set this up himself. That was another reason too. Hmm. Queen of Hearts, Ten of Hearts, you know. But yeah, so he displaces a nine of spades. You know, that's completion within one's life path, purpose. That's also his natural Neptune card for him. Um, the biggest point for him also for it happened on a two of diamonds day, and it had a seven of spades displacing the two of diamonds. Two of Diamonds has a warlike energy. Everything, all these Mars cards can have an aggressive warlike energy. Probably the most level-headed and patient. Four of clubs, six of hearts. Um, okay, I'll give three. Four of clubs, six hearts, eight of clubs.
As
Anybody else?
Mars cards, six of hearts,
Yeah,
as
I think
patience.
they can. Yeah, they can be. I think they're in the Mars position to force them to that point. Um, actually, so was she here, Mika? I'm calling her out, but I was talking to her about. She was like, "No, I'm not aggressive. I don't call people out." And then I was like, "Well, do you stand up for yourself, or or stand up for other people a lot, you know, or fight for injustice?" And she said, then she was like, she had to think about it, you know, and she was like, "Yeah, kind of, sort of." So yeah, I think they have to be pushed to that point because they are a six. It does deal with fairness in some type of way, you know, dealing with the fairness of employees, people, treating people fair. When it comes to those things, I think that's when you push them to be to emit more of that Mars type of energy, you know. But I think the four of clubs and six of
I,
hearts we push.
I agree with the fair thing for the Six of Hearts 100%. They really like fair, and that's why they would speak up for their Mars voice.
Mhm.
I mean, they can be extremely, you know, intense with their passion. I'm not
Oh
quite
yeah,
sure
yeah.
I would give them patience, but intensity for sure. But I mean, with being a six, you know, obviously taking more time. But I think because of the Mars position, they have more guts or more, you know, oomph than the other sixes per se. Not to say that the sixes don't have it, but they take more time. But that one, because it's Mars, I just think
Mhm.
they're if things aren't fair, I feel like that's when they can get on a path of destruction until they are fair. Because it's Mars. But yes, I agree. People have fours in Mars, um, eights in Mars may have more. You know, they're not as they take their time with things. There's more consistency. There's more the build, right? But I think we're all kind of with this Mars, Uranus, and the fixed star conjunction coming together. the intensity, on top of it being a King of Clubs day tomorrow, that this exact conjunction is happening with the moon in Scorpio, just adds more in Cancer season, right? So the with and going into a Three of Diamonds week, and then when we look at the Three of Diamonds spread, the sevens, the nines, the Ace of Spades. I mean, it's gonna be a week.
So slow down, Gina. Take us back. So you said you said a mouthful. So you said what was the first thing you said? What?
The conjunction, we have Mars and Uranus conjuncting in Taurus, and then you have the fixed star. I think it's Algol, if I'm saying it right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the and I was about to say it last week. I was like, that's the good and star of the good and bad days. That's actually one of the ways that the cards is semi based upon that fixed star in the shifting of the zodiac. So with algo, that is kind of like destruction. It can be, a sense of, a lot of like Mars energy, war, or sometimes they say, but it is the start of good and bad days for the cards also. So it's very interesting. Um, Not to cut you off. So you said,
You have that conjunction, right? On the exact is tomorrow on a King of Clubs day, where the moon is also in Scorpio, right? The sun is in Cancer, so the emotions, the water, the intensity. It's a lot of intense energy, right?
mhm,
And at the beginning of a Three of Diamonds week on top of it, right? So, and then you look at the Three of Diamonds spread. Naturally, they have sevens, the nines, the Ace of Spades is a part of their spread. The Jack of Hearts is a part of their spread. So, and sometimes the Three of Diamonds can be, an energy where there is a lot of intensity to that spread because of, I think, they have a seven in Mars, don't you? You have a seven in Venus, you have a seven in Mars, and you have that nine in Uranus, which would kind of be with the Mars Uranus conjunction, nine in Neptune. So, there's a lot of intensity with that spread just, naturally. And then when you add the King of Clubs energy, right? And they have the King of Spades naturally as the moon, when you have the moon in Scorpio too. And the moon just moved into Scorpio earlier today. So we have, that intense energy
mhm.
building, right? So, and then we're building to a full moon Capricorn, I think, like, I don't know, sometimes the 20th or 21st.
21st.
21st. So we're kind of like in between that, between the new moon and the full moon. So it's just definitely, and that's the thing, like when you not, what's the beauty of kind of knowing this stuff is like, okay, when you're traveling this week, take your time. People are, the intent is going, Mars and Uranus can be, accidents, right? Because people are in a hurrying, in a rush, sudden, unexpected. You add that fixed star, the, anger and intensity. So
Violent.
yeah, violence. So, and
Um,
it's what just
Scorpio.
played out could be just the beginning of what is, kind of building and bubbling with this energy. But see, just like what Gracia was saying, it's like, how do you respond though? Right? I don't, that's why I'm like, for me, I go to the beach, I'll be home. Like, I don't really do much out in the whole public, which is great for me. So I try to, when I know that these energies are here, then I'm more aware of when I'm out, and that other people may not be aware of the energy. So it just kind of helps you to move a little bit differently and accordingly, you know.
Mhm. So the last time Scorpio moon happened, I think I would have wished that I knew what energy was taking place. To be honest, I also had Mars, I believe, and my eighth or seventh house as well. Um, so yeah, it almost ended up fatal for me, unfortunately. And a lot of times it's not just for you; it's for everybody around you, right? So it's like driving down the highway. You can't drive for everybody. You just gotta pay attention and watch out and keep your eyes on the road and know what's going on. You know, eyes on the road and eyes in the skies, right? And keep you alive. So you just want to make sure that you're paying attention to what's kind of taking place. And no matter what. especially for him. Like I said, I kept saying if I was his advisor, looking at his spread, three of diamonds, Mars, the accident is also. That's why I also said he could have staged this. Because it's Jack of Spades and Neptune for him, with the King of Clubs. So, Jack of Spades can be kind of tricky, can, be somewhat of a lie, could have been staged. And the King of Clubs would make something well thought out, and you may not have known, may not have seen it, right? So, well thought out plan, very intricate, and it could seem like, you know, it could have happened on a public stage as well, in public, right, with the seven clubs, and everybody could think it's fake, don't know what's going on, you know. So that was the aspect. I was like, it was Jack of Spades somewhere. That's what. So he had Jack of Spades and Neptune, with the King of Clubs. Then he transforms into the King of Hearts, which is the actor, right? Which is Joe Biden's card. So he might have won Joe Biden's spot. He might have took his place. I'm not gonna lie. So he might have became the person that Joe Biden is supposed to be. Joe Biden's supposed to be is the protector, the father, the patriot. Patriotism is the attributes related to the King of Hearts, right? So now he has taken that position, and as you said, came out as that person that's going to protect America. You know, so that is the role that he's supposed to play out this year, right? Um, I can say in a similar position, I had the king. I had, I'm, for me, life is funny. So I say it's funny. I'm gonna let you in on my life a little bit. So I was displacing 33. I have the King of Hearts somewhere, and I got called a father. I don't have no kids,
Yeah, I think
but
I told you were gonna have last time.
um, you talking about last week during when we first came on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I probably didn't say nothing. I just let you talk. But okay, I'll tell you. So yeah, I'm displacing the King of Hearts. So yeah, I got pinned as a good father, or I could be a father in some type of way, or being seen in the father type of role, right? With and I also
Funny
have
that pinned.
Or it may you
a
like it also could be that you may meet a woman who has kids, right? It doesn't mean that you have to actually have children, but there could be where you are stepping into some sort of father role or even just a protective role, leading in some kind of way, with that King of Hearts.
and what challenges the King of Hearts?
Nine of Spades, right? Or Two of Clubs. One of the two. I can't remember. Two of Clubs.
The Two of Clubs. So it's dealing with the Two of Clubs as well. That's what makes it all funny. I wouldn't say pinned as a father, but seen as a good father in a certain type of way. But yeah, it's kind of funny, right? But yeah, that is the actions and the King of Hearts is to be and put into a leadership role to cater to other people, to help out, in a lot of different ways. So the King of Hearts for him is also displacing Jupiter, which would put him in the spotlight. He'll gain a lot of attention, or could gain a lot of attention. Either way, he can make money. Gina, like it's all staged. They're all trying to make money. So yeah, so that's why I would say, people can say it's fake as well, or it could have been orchestrated in some type of way. Um, Let me see. Also, he's challenged by the King of Hearts. So I didn't see that. Let me go to the comments. Was there anything you was looking at something, or Madeline?
No. I was just that word pin, it's just those archetypes of father, mother, any of those things where there's sacrifice involved, right? King of Hearts, there's a sacrifice involved when you're a King of Hearts. I mean, you might get juice from it because you're a King of Hearts and you want to be that girl or guy. But when you become a certain thing, like I'm a parent, I'm a father, I'm the CEO, like whatever it is, I'm the leader of the band, it's a lot of responsibility.
Oh yeah, I got a Jack of Hearts. Yeah, I ain't a bit of responsibility that I have like at this moment. So I'm not that responsible. I am the kid. I need to grow up. So yeah.
No, that's not fun.
But the Jack of Hearts is a great parent. They're a young parent though. It's a different type of parenting. I probably would say, but it's definitely a protector as well. It's actually a protector of children. Um, if you was in the Aquarius class, you probably would call her a psychic because we also seen that there could have been like sexual issues and those things with the Diddy with the Jack of Hearts and Saturn. So Jack of Hearts comes with a lot of sacrifice, maturity, and maturing overall in all areas of love, relationship, sex, and all of those things, emotions. So yeah, there's a sense of maturity that comes from the Jack of Hearts. So it's not a bad parent. It's just a young, fun, loving. You know, it's a Jack, right? But that also is important. I know it's a Two of Diamonds week, so I don't want to go too much off. But the Two
Which
of
is the
Diamonds,
Jack of Hearts Pluto card, by the way.
with the Two of Diamonds,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So partnerships, cooperation, and they also have to mature as well. I think they are stoic a lot of times. They're old souls. They displace a six. So it's something about their life pattern that is repetitive. I spoke about the father. I said my I just getting tongue tied today. I talked about their father and parents and the role of their parents in their life is very important. There's going to be something that's karmic or a pattern related to their mother or their father within their life cycle. It's going to be very clear for them usually. But also they have the Jack of Spades and Mercury. And you were saying accidents. That's what I was getting to as well. Accidents. Also with Trump, he has Jack of Spades and Neptune. Right. Accidents happen on public stage. King of Clubs, Uranus. There's also accidents. Mars, Uranus. Can be a deadly accident. I guess you could say. Let me. I try not to get too brutal, but yeah, it can be something pretty bad. So Jack of Spades. This is Mars. You see this, and this is Uranus. So it's Mars, Uranus here. But that can also be the truth, the dealing with the truth as well. Having to deal with honesty. You can be an actor or someone playing a character or role. Okay. And that is the Two of Diamonds original place, original Mercury when they start out in life and for their life path. So it's a Mercury position, which can make them wise, intelligent. Some of them are artists, copycats, or go into a realm of things. Actually, give them a lot of variety as far as like field of choices, as far as like career path. They're much as opportunists as me. I would say, to be honest, because they can be so talented, right? So they do have a lot of choices, but they can also get fixed into things that do them no good as well out of fear because it's a two, right? So that can
I
be
think they can
fear
also struggle with
associated.
escapism and drugs because the Jack of Spades being in Mercury. A lot of them deal with a lot of a very interesting childhood, I would say. And so having that Jack of Spades may sometimes have them disassociate, and art and being creative is probably very therapeutic for them because it helps them escape sometimes the situations in their home, in their families, the dynamics that I've seen with a lot of Two of Diamonds I've come across. Um, so I think that Jack of Spades can give them the ability to kind of, turn that eye and be able to kind of like take themselves to another space, another place, another dimension right? And that's maybe why a lot of times they can take any kind of the stuff that they've been through and turn it into art because of that two of spades being their Mercury card.
Jack of Spades. Yeah. Yeah, so
Mhm.
the Jack of Spades is the artist. Imitate, like you said, imitate life, dreams, memories, and those things can be vivid. And also be intuitive. The Two of Diamonds also speaks to your intuition. The two in itself speaks to the intuition. A lot of times you can get people who may dive into metaphysics, but may not be readers, may be more of teachers than just readers, right? Um, but yeah, that can be a sense of using your intuition or the creative skills from that Jack of Spades, but may not be much into the limelight as well, but can have a lot of friends, right? So they can be very social, but may not be pushed or have to be pushed towards the front a lot of times, right? Or they can have a lot of successful people around them, successful friends, associates. They have a 10 of diamonds, 10 of hearts, so it can be pretty popular. You can say, especially the women can use their charm probably more, but I wouldn't say better than men, but to an advantage, for like business or any of those things possibly as well. So yeah, so out of being an artist, if they do use it for that and not out of just a mental relief, they can be rewarded. The women are more fearless than the men, they say, to be honest, and more prone to use their charisma for a stage presence. So, but yeah, I believe is Loki here. I believe Alicia Keys is a two of diamonds as well.
Mhm.
My brother's a two of diamonds. He's a Sag. He raps, but his friend is actually the one that's pretty popular. Um, but he's a Gemini. Geminis once they're doubtful, and kind of the light kind of goes out. But hopefully he gets more motivated, and I believe he have been releasing. So Gemini, you never know what's going on. We may be in it 1 minute, may be out. We may be in it, may be out the next. Also for them, they have the 8 of clubs, 6 of diamonds. Oh yeah, 6 of diamonds, Mars. We were talking about 6 and Mars, right? From the who else had a 6 and Mars? I was just talking about
The six
who.
of hearts before you were talking about, and then a
Oh
six of
yeah,
hearts and would be
and Mars. Yeah, so for them, they have a 6 of diamonds in Mars. I know some of the books says that they miss opportunities because they're kind of slow as far as making a decision. So the 6 works in opposition, well, to their Mars, having a 6 of diamonds there. But they can also be stuck into a bad deal. Aquarius speaks about her 8 of clubs, either the 8 of clubs or the Jack of Spades, one of them, get into. Oh yeah, it's the 2 of diamonds. Her 2 of diamonds. She's having to learn how to negotiate, or having to learn that particular skill. So slowing down and learning how to make better decisions because they have to cooperate, they have to negotiate, they have to work with people. A lot of times. So the 6 of diamonds is important. And then also, they displace the 6 of clubs. So making the right decision, is very important. But once they, like I said, they are quick, they are wise, but they just slow down, make the right decisions as far as monetarily, or always making a deal. Once they do learn, like I said, they learn fast. They end up bargaining for something, right? They probably end up making a bargain for something.
My brother's ex-wife was a Sag two of diamonds, and whew, the Pluto came out between her and I, for sure. and she's just, she had a really rough life coming up, and it's transpired under her children, and it's just really been unfortunate to watch. I've seen money come to her. I've seen her lose money. I mean, that Six of Diamonds in Mars, it's been really interesting to kind of know that that's her card, and just going back in all the situations that they've been through and all the stuff that they've done and been through. And honestly, they can't escape those six. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I've seen her try. I mean, when you talk about someone who can negotiate her way, courts, judges, lawyers, I mean,
She
ooh,
just have to pay it. Like that's the thing, but that's the thing. Once you compromise your that trust, like once you reach an agreement, it may not be best. It's best to just pay it. Once you start to compromise the trust, now you're compromising potential because they already probably gave you a deal or in some type of way, out of likeness, just the two of diamonds. Like I said, they can be charming. They have the Jack of Spades, Ten of Hearts, Saturn. You just want to nurse them back to health, probably. Help them out in some type of way. So they'll get the help and aid. But it's about the obligation and paying. So once they make a payment and once they commit to those obligations, it's like a six of hearts, six of diamonds. Those are promises. That's why a six of hearts is obligated to the promises they make. To keep it also. So yeah, that's why also like money can kind of rock the. That's why I said I can have it just as bad as three of diamonds as far as money and issues around just their state of mind around money and fear. Mm.
yeah, she, even just her own children, she's used as paychecks,
Mm.
and really using the courts, and lying in court. I mean, when you talk about Jack of Spades activated, she's got that on wrap, like no doubt.
Guess we're
And
touching on the high and low side of some of the cards, huh?
oh yeah,
I, I feel careful because my son's a two of diamonds, so I don't want to be like, getting myself in trouble by talking about it. But I'll just say they can be pretty sneaky and pretty stubborn, and when they shut down, they make walls, especially if they're fixed signs.
oh yeah, no, and I mean, the things that what invoked Pluto with her and I. She said some words to me, and we were in front of a courthouse. They had to pull me off of her. So I
That happened on the public. It was already public. It already happened publicly, so I got you. Like, this is not a secret. This is this happened.
I mean, but I'm like, when I like the her words, and this is when she was literally losing custody of one of her children, and like she's dealt with drugs her whole life. Like she just she's an addict. I mean, there's just no way around that. She's definitely an addict, and though that has taken over her life, where she's lost kids, just has been through such a roller coaster ride of life. And you would think, after hitting rock bottom a few times, and just wanting, your kids would be enough, but never has been. And just knowing a little bit about her upbringing too, so you can kind of see the cycle being repeated. And it's unfortunate because the children are the ones who kind of were in the midst of all of it. And even with just their divorce, it's, the back and forth, and just the relentlessness that she had, and it was just more about the money than anything. It was never about the well-being of her children. It was never about them. It was just about how much money she could get. You know what I mean? And the day that we were in court to try to get my niece, she had some choice words, and her choice words almost got her life choked out of her by me, because I don't play
So
when
it's
it
all
comes.
about how you respond.
Yep.
No
I was
pressure,
also
no
a lot
pressure.
younger, and I'm I can be intense when it comes to like the kids. So it's a whole nother ballgame for me. Forget all that love shit. I'm coming for your throat.
Uh, it's this Jack of Hearts, Six of Hearts.
See? Yep.
King of Hearts too. I forgot you have a King of Hearts. That
Oh
starts
yeah.
Mars. That's Mars, Mercury. So you know,
Hmm.
so King of Hearts. Sometimes we paint them as the father, the protector. That's why I said I love to talk about the cards. I want to give everyone light. I want to, be cheerful. But people, when people, come to you, they're not dealing with the hot side of everybody. Like that's the reason they're coming is because it's some low energy that's taking place or that someone has witnessed, and that's our we're on earth, that is our purpose, is to live out some of these karmas, is to battle with our insecurities, to battle and to overcome our personal demons and also to settle out karma with other people, debts with other people. You know, you don't know how many times this word Medici is. I have traces back to the ancient days and going into the cards. It is very interesting with Medici and the Medici family and the cardology. So like you don't know what age of karma that you're working out with who. And sometimes it is and can be like Gina said, like that Pluto energy. It can be karma from different lives, past lives that you can have with people that you can settle in some type of way. And depending on who's mature in the situation, how it may be
You need to
settled.
take those out.
Yeah, the King of Hearts, Mercury, Mars, Nine of Spades, Two of Clubs. That is a date. That is, that's not really a nice energy that you want to get in front of when they're not level headed. The card in the book says yes, they are peaceful. They they let things go. They don't hold on to anything. There's no grudges in love.
Who says
But
that? Not who?
the book says that about the King of Hearts.
That's not true.
Are you trying to tell people?
I mean, we're all everything, right? So I mean, we're
Right.
all the. That's the whole thing about the cards. Like these are tendencies. It's like, oh, you look good in yellow. You'll tend to wear yellow. But you know what? Like you're gonna wear everything, and even the fixed cards are gonna deal with the energies of everything else. It's really like what's growing from the inside out that helps you know really clear why you're here and what you're doing for yourself. Because it's so easy to get caught up in everything. Any way that you think that you're not gonna, usually that's when you're gonna.
Yeah, you never say never. Never
No,
say never.
telling you, I've been humbled more than once on that one. But yeah, so my family has dinner ready, so I'm gonna meet it because I'm starving. But I'm curious about what's gonna transpire. I'm really excited how these systems and astrology and all the different things, AI and such, are coming to give us even more information. Sometimes I think about, I don't remember which one of those crazy movies I watched with my family, these fantasy movies, but I remember in one of them, there being like, this is how you're going to die. Like you can just put in a button and they'll tell you how you're going to die. Like it's like kind of insane how wired something might be. So I'm really curious to see if that's what happens with the AI reality, or if we come to a more organic new beginning, if we really do come back to the elements, or if it's like a romantic illusion to go back to the earth and indigenous stuff. Like to me, like it's the base of it all. But meanwhile, we're only on one of the balls in the entire big giant star system. So how do we know if it's the base of everything? So I'm very, very curious and glad to be surrounded by people who great conversations about it.
um, as far as future, just because I guess it's two of diamonds, we're going to. I would say I see the future. You're going to factions. Um, Kind of like that one movie. If we're speaking about movies and examples, but I can see us going into it. So there's going to be your herbalists and your conscious people living off the grid.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so I mean you can do that now. You can do all these. There's no limitations. I think that's why I also say factions because you can be whoever you want to be depending on where you want to go. In the
Mm.
world. So think that's why how you should always live without limitations. And then let the monkeys run the circus, as they want.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But thank you guys both, and we'll see you Friday too on the live. And Rashad, check us out and come over too if you want to and chat. And this is wonderful, and I'll see you all next week. And I'm definitely feeling all those tens and that 10 of clubs in my brain today, but that's all right. You just know it's an energy that'll pass through, and you're grateful sometimes that it does.
Man, I had the three of clubs and the 10 of clubs as my Uranus cards yesterday. And those cards literally played out all week with to make a decision was the hardest thing ever. I couldn't do it. And it literally took the day of for me to be like, you know what? I was so mentally exhausted with making a decision. I was like, F all the decisions. I'm going to the beach.
I remember when my girls and I were younger and we just decided like the few days before your period, like you're just not allowed to make decisions.
Right.
We just made a rule. And so Steve called me like, wait, let's look at the calendar. Like this, you're sounding a little bit left, or this isn't, these are not the decisions you're allowed to make, right? Because we had to have each other's back like that. Like, nah, this isn't the clear water. So I think knowing those cards like that, it's like, well, I'm not going to try to make a decision on a 3 of clubs day. I'll just drink water all day. I won't think about what tea to have. I'll just try to keep it simple. But to be really careful with not getting caught up, like you have to do it. The energies do change and do pass. So do it when it feels good.
Yep.
All right. Wonderful. Appreciate you both. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Yeah. Enjoy.
So yeah, that was that energy was intense in regards to and I was overthinking the decision, and there was a lot of energy in my mind for sure. So I'm kind of looking at my spread for this week. It's funny because I have the 3 of diamonds is behind me this week on the plate that I am. So
what plate is it?
What plate am I on? I think 60 something. I have to look. I can't remember. Find where the 3 of diamonds is behind me. Keep going. I can't remember where I am. Let me see. Hold on. What's in the sun? 10 of spades is in the sun. The 3 of diamonds is pushing me. What did I do? I may be in the beginning. Let me go to this because I had it up there, but then I took it off. I just know it was pushing me. Oops. Shh. Stop it. No. Oh my God. Where am I? Maybe.
For those of you wondering how do you find your weekly card, last week at the beginning, was it last week you gave me a reading and you looked at my birthday or the King Clubs week? One of those.
Oh, I'm on plate 6. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
You said 60. How you
plate 6. No, I don't know why I said 60. It's plate 6 for my week.
So you found out how many days you was alive, divided by 7, divided by 45, minus the whole number. If it's 39, minus 39, times that by 45. I just told you how to find your weekly plate. Okay. You might have to rewind that back, slow it down, pause it. And the decimal places can tell you what day it is if you minus the whole place. But that's just, we'll keep it there. Okay, so 6. The 3 of diamonds is pushing you. 5 of spades. I thought you said three of clubs. You said Neptune. I thought you said Uranus.
That was my this week that's ending. If you go to
Oh,
plate
that's what I'm saying.
5, you'll see it was my Uranus card.
Oh, now it's in Neptune though.
Yeah.
Dang, that don't look. Yeah, because from the six arts goes to the four spades,
Hmm.
four clubs.
It's my vertical, I think. Yeah.
Hmm. So what are you going to do? So does that? I don't know if that's going to be any better as far as mentally,
Right.
but it's the four of clubs is there, So you're finding ways to um, gain a peaceful mind. Four of clubs, I wouldn't say are as prone to like marijuana and drugs as much as the two of diamonds is. Just because they said Mars Jupiter, so that's like already like crack, you know, as far as like mental crack. So their brains is probably on overload as well, trying to slow down because they have a five of clubs. So it's probably worse having three of clubs and five of clubs challenge you to four of clubs, but finding or having ways to use that inspiration or all of those ideas and put it into a planned format, you may get something out of it though. You know, so new plan, new project, a business idea, adding something to your business, in some type of way. Just don't work yourself to death or overthink yourself or keep yourself up and causing insomnia. Um, so- and then you have you got to think about all your last cards in Mars in the Mars row as well. So, um, and then
Yep.
you transform into the three of spades. So as far as, but
It's a
that's
lot of
kind of,
three.
hmm,
It's a lot of three, which
right.
I can get really frustrated with. I do. I get frustrated with three energy a lot. But knowing that, I know that I have to find an outlet for that, and it's the same thing I tell my clients when I see a lot of three energy in their spread is like, just, you got to go play. You got to have fun. You got to, it's just energy that has to move. Right. And I think that's just the key. And then it being a three of diamonds week on top of it. Right. So, that's one thing about knowing your spread and where you sit and like being able to seeing the whole plate is so important as well. Um, because it gives you like a bird's eye view. And I think it's, so for me, it is about getting creative. It is about trying new things. It is about, exploring and taking a risk or, diversifying, branching out in different directions and not worrying about it. Like that's the key, is to not let it stress me out. Um, I think that's key. The Queen of Spades is going to be my Pluto card, so it's all, that's going to be the biggest thing is it's that mastery, right? And sometimes those threes can get to the point where you're like, oh my god, but when you can master the energy, when you can master that, you know, um, there's an opportunity to grow. There's an opportunity to see that nothing outside of you, everything is from within. So any of the stress and the worry, I would be the one creating it, right? So,
Mhm.
and I always find that when I know that I have, again, it'll just be about me just trying to find ways to relax, trying to find ways for me to express myself in a healthy way. And then also knowing I'm a Saturn card to the week coming up as well. So I'm always aware of that. Like
Mhm.
this week that just passed is passing. That's my Pluto card for life. And now going into this week, I'm the Saturn card. So I think that's important to know for people listening. Like, where are you according to the energy for the week? What card is it for you? Where is it? Maybe even in your yearly spread, if it's like a reward card for you this year, then in that week you may get a reward, you may get blessed in some way. So it's just good to know those things.
Mhm. Mhm. You also have the King of Hearts and King of Diamonds as well for you. So,
Hmm.
which are your natural, what is that, your
Jupiter,
Mars,
Saturn.
Jupiter, Saturn?
Naturally Jupiter, Saturn, but they're going to be Saturn, Uranus.
Okay. Um, and the King of Hearts displaces your Saturn card. Hmm.
Hmm.
So maybe doing something like you said, stepping out, doing something that you probably usually wouldn't do. Just get on camera, and maybe speaking about your products in some type of way, you know,
Hmm.
or maybe even writing something down for the future. Maybe not now, but like I give speeches that are for awards that I haven't even gotten yet. So just writing, presentations, how can you say certain things but different.
I had to swallow that before it came out. But I love that though. That's so dope, Rashad. Oh, I love it. Oh, I've written. But that's, I mean, if anything, that's manifestation right there. Shit.
Close, dude. Um, we're gonna see.
I'm
If
gonna
this-
do that. Nope, that's my. You know what? That's what I'm gonna work on this week. I'm gonna write down my speeches.
yeah,
Oh, I love it.
but pitches, anything, like appreciation speeches, just those things, But yeah, that's a three. You gotta do something as soon as you want. But yeah, but anything as far as like writing, creating, like you said, seeing yourself in some type of position with speaking, helping, guiding other people, maybe even creating a help group, and all you do is write down, different ways you use your product or something, or a weekly newsletter or something of some sorts. Newsletter is actually the Ace of Diamonds, which is today, which is a letter or a message about something, which has the two of diamonds connected to it. It's a two of diamonds week, so two of diamonds theme is also communication with people as well. Always communicating, cooperation, or negotiation, or leading other people. But again, newsletter or a daily message or morning message is a ace of diamonds type of thing. Um, who like I said, the two of diamonds actually has the ace of diamonds as their support. So yeah, or journal or something. But yeah, the because you also have the six of clubs, which is the messenger. So it's something possibly that you can do as far as helping people, a message you can get out and get across. So
This, my birthday's coming up. It's the end of the month, and Six of Clubs has been my Pluto card this whole year because I'm in the 44 plate. I'll be 45, and so that Six of Clubs has been showing up like almost in every spread. I think it's been my long range card this week. I think it was in my spread last week. I'm like, okay, like,
mm,
what do you want from me? No. And I really do think that it's been more about me doing this work specifically, and just finding different ways to kind of embrace the cards, and with working with people. I do me and Nelson Medici. He's big on, what is that, X or Twitter X? I don't know. I don't.
mm,
He just sends me a link. I click it, and next thing you know, I'm in a room and I'm talking. And so, we were doing. I guess it's called Spaces. And so we started that back up again this week. We're gonna start it on Tuesdays again. So it's just me talking cards like that. I really do believe I'm supposed to be doing this work and doing
mhm,
more of it. And so that Six of Clubs has kind of been like pushing me and following me around and nudging at me to bring these these systems, and I guess maybe the way I look at it, is unique because when you those weekly plates, when you're in them so much, the way you can kind of see these cards and where they move and how they travel is just, it's fascinating. And I really like those reads that I do. The weekly reads have been, I think, very beneficial for my clients, and how they've helped them, um, each week, being able to kind of just have an insight of the energy that's showing up, just kind of helps
mhm,
you. When I talked to one today, and she was saying, it's helped me be in the moment. It's helped me get out of my head. It's helped me to actually like really be able to experience life in the present time, where I'm not constantly worrying or overthinking things. So I love hearing stuff like that. It's something that I do, helps other people what I live for. So it's been fun.
And probably to have faith as well.
Yeah.
You know, um, that things are working, or a sense of manifestation, even from within yourself, is taking place on some type of level, right? So that's pretty dope. But yeah, that is the Jack of Hearts. Like I said, when there's maturity, when there's faith, that can be that person that help other people. To be a guide and protector and a pastor in some type of way, a spiritual leader. But also spiritual leader, spiritual information. I took a 45-hour pay today. Spiritual leader can also be the um, two of diamonds also, because that Jack of Spades and Mercury. So they can have some type of religious childhood or faith, or a parent or something somewhere, or again they can be liars, but truth, honesty, religious, or some type of dedication should be there. You was about to say something? I'm sorry.
No, they have their challenging karma cards, 6 of clubs. So they are, they're messengers, but they have to be able to
Mhm.
trust. They have to
Trust your
really be, yeah, they have to trust their own, guidance. They have to really listen to themselves. They have to, because I think with that Jack of Spades and Mercury, they can lie to themselves. They can,
mm,
with it being a one-eyed Jack, they might not, they can turn off the intuition and live impulsively. But if they really sit and quiet and really listen, they probably are some of the most intuitive people as well. But I think they have to kind of operate from the higher side of that Jack of Spades, not kind of from the lower side of it.
ooh, that kind of hurt. No, you're right. So there's a situation. I don't tell my story too much. A lot of people don't know too much about me. But there was a situation where I'm riding, and my brother asked me, "Do I have something that would protect me?" And I'm telling him, and I stop. I'm like, "No, I'm good. Keep going." End up, I needed that protection actually. Um, so his intuition, of course, was there, and I have also the same lesson as the three of diamonds is to follow your intuition. Two of diamonds, three of diamonds. That's one of the similar um,
Mm-hmm.
lessons that we have in our lives is to follow our intuition in life. As a form of protection. Also, I said nine of spades. Following your intuition is a form of protection. So that is the know and the intuition of the King of Hearts and the protection. There's other protection is following your heart. Also. But yeah, they also come from Jupiter Neptune position, which could lead them as far as, like you said, living within their own mind. Ace of Diamonds living within their own personal desires. Which could be, like you said, blinding to real life. What's actually taking place. Like you said, maybe lying to themselves in some type of way. Also can get them into issues as far as work, possibly. Eight of Spades and Neptune.
So what you
Yeah.
doing this week, Rashad? Since it's your week, what you got?
Hopefully so. Um, man, so I don't know. I'm talking about hopefully. Yeah, I have no idea. I do. I have a good idea. I have a good idea of what I want to do, but it's like I'm in the middle. So right now I'm signing my papers to continue the job that I was doing last year. So I haven't been doing that. I just been doing Amazon for all summer. Um, Within between the time I'm doing Amazon, I give readings. So actually, I have a reading tomorrow. So that's going to be exciting. I'm gonna study for that after I get from here. I did a little bit before, so I have a reading this week. I had a dope reading last week as well. So that is tomorrow. And so in between that time, so I do readings. Then also I've been trying to help my friend or doing real estate with my friend also. So it's also going to be a week of me also going back and talking to Two of Diamonds. She's looking to raise money for her radio station, you know, and she also is looking to possibly trying to find out what to do with it as far as someone inheriting it. It is a grassroots underground radio. It's like 95.3, but it's like a particular station a lot of people don't listen to, but she's a two of diamonds, So again, two of diamonds can stay fixed. They want to hold on to things. So I've always volunteered to help this particular person. So I'm looking at this like, is this kind of like the cycle that I'm living as far as like this attraction to this radio station, and so that's something I'm gonna be thinking about, So that's kind of like my nine of spades. Is this my karmic destiny to inherit this this particular thing in some type of way, right? So that's something I'm gonna be contemplating this week and doing real estate and working with my friend, and the other times I'm not doing my reading. So those are things I'll be contemplating this week and kind of like my life karma. Yeah. Well, how did I get here? Like, what is this called? So yeah, work, and more work is what I have on my plate, and yeah, spending money, it will be an expense as well. Seven of Diamonds, Mars is about to hit me pretty hard, but I think I'm gonna bounce back. I definitely have a Six of Diamonds, so bills, Six of Diamonds. I have a car payment that is not on time, but we're gonna double up and we're gonna be okay here in a couple weeks. So actually, I was gonna get paid this week, but yeah, that's the life of Three Diamonds. Try not to worry about money. It is financial opportunity as well. Dealing with one's life goals, karma, and trying to find the light in one's life. So they often say the Three Diamonds. It reminds me of one of the human designs of leading people to your garden. Um, I don't know if J-Lo is there, but one of the archetypes is leading someone to your heaven or your ideal heaven, leading other people to this ultimate peace or to this ultimate heaven, you know. So Three of Diamonds are light bearers also, so, but we'll talk about more. Um, Let me not ruin next week's and give you information on what I've decided. So as you can see, we're the card of undecided values also. But
See why you frustrate the daylights out of me sometimes, though. That like
you see the opportunity. Like, come on, look at the opportunity. My friend, he's a millionaire in real estate, so I'm like, I really want to learn this game.
But you're the funnest. Like I think threes can be some of the funnest energies when they're not stressed. Some of the most creative, funnest energies, but God forbid they're stressed. Oh my Lord, it's like
We just need a good team. We always There's like one of those people that need a team for everything. And once I create that in these areas, I have the connections. I just need the team within these connections. I have the investor. I just need the properties and my own personal properties. Like I have the information. I have the people that could host a few different shows on the radio station. Just need, but these things, one of those things that at its highest level, what the Three Diamonds says highest level, he could be the mayor of the town. At his lowest level, he can be frustrated over all the opportunities. So I'm trying to slowly get there. I have a Six of Hearts, so you gotta be patient. So we'll see. We'll see.
But I think the biggest thing with the threes is not when you guys are any of them, it is not operating from a space of fear, right? Because then I think that's where like the stress and the worry then comes from, and then I think that's when that energy shuts down, and that's when like missing opportunities come, because you'll talk yourself out of an opportunity, you'll talk yourself out of fear, or it won't work, or you'll find everything that could go wrong, right? When you really put your focus on everything that could go right. I think it's just about changing that perception, right? Like instead of worrying about all the things that can go wrong, what if you just switched it and focus on all the things that could go right? And I think that's when the threes can be in some of their most the most amazing energy because they can be so creative. But again, if they kind of have, you look a lot of, a lot of the threes have those sevens connected to them too. So, and you see that the threes and sevens will travel together on the plates. And I think that is about, them having to, one, see themselves as a source. It's not outside of y'all, but a lot of times with that three energy, and that's kind of as we go into this week, like especially around finances, around your uh, resources, and either you're going to create more or you'll be trapped in a where you feel limited, or you feel stressed, or you feel like there's not enough. And so this week, as we move into this energy, don't focus on what you don't have, focus on what you can create, right? I think that's key with this energy. And if one door shuts, I've always said this from the jump, especially with threes, if a door shuts, that's okay. You got like 17 other doors that you can walk through because you've done, started probably 17 other projects. So go to the next one, right? Like you said at the beginning, didn't you say I got all these tabs open? That's literally the threes. All these tabs in their head, right? And so close down some of those tabs that's why three of the four threes transform into fours. And I think that's some of the, like, when they really grasp that, when you guys can follow through and complete something, there's this sense of like satisfaction, there's this sense of comfort, there's this sense of contentment that comes. But when there's all those tabs open, I think that's when that writer's block or creative block can come, and that block then shows up as fear or procrastination, or like you said, be missing out on opportunities because you limited yourself, you stopped yourself. The outside didn't stop you, you stopped it from the inside out because you didn't believe in it, or you didn't think that you could do it, or whatever. You saw everything that could go wrong. And honestly, energy goes where you focus. So if you focus on everything going wrong, what do you think is going to happen? Shit's going to go wrong. So it's just about being able to change that perception and say, oh, okay, why am I thinking it like this? Let me reframe this. And a lot of times too, it takes coming, like, I sit here a lot. This is my spot. This is where I do a lot of my work, most of my work. And so if I'm here and I'm overthinking things, I will shut all of this down. I will get up, I will turn on the music, and I will literally do a whole dance routine in my living room. Because dance was one of my things growing up. I was big into dance. So I'll go and I'll cook, I'll do the dishes. I will take myself out of this space to move that energy. Because if not, that's when it becomes this like overwhelming, like whirlwind of all kinds of stuff. And so I have to move my body. And when I do that and I come back, I'm like, oh, I feel better, because again, that's when I realized those threes just have to have an outlet. And if it's for some, maybe it's going in the dirt, like doing some kind of gardening. For other, maybe it's swimming, maybe it's writing, whatever it may be, you have to find that outlet. And that's, I find, to be very therapeutic for that energy. Whether you are a three or you got a bunch of three in your spread, finding ways to move that energy is key.
Yeah, for me, it's writing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely writing. I write a lot. I used to read poetry. So I'm not a trained writer in no type of way. Everything's emotional. I have no structure, no three of diamonds, Mercury, Uranus. There's no structure to my writing. It's just to get out the ideas. Just things. So yeah, most definitely it is something. But energy, we'll look more into it between the five of spades. You gotta release that creative energy in some type of way, or don't let it drive you crazy like Gina. Who has her own threes coming up. She has to deal with three of clubs this week. So, but yeah, and three of clubs is the writer. That if anyone is writing, the three of clubs is writing. So if you have a three of clubs anywhere, or you are the three of clubs, writing, speaking, are some of your best gifts. And three of clubs is actually connected to the two of diamonds, the negotiator. So that is a gift that you have as well. So if you look at it spiritually, the three of clubs transforms into who? The two of diamonds. So
Flip it.
the,
The two of diamonds transforms to three of clubs. Right? Three of
no, the
clubs
spiritual.
transforms to the four of hearts.
No, on the spiritual spread.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
So, uh, 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 la, 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 la.
I think the Three of Hearts is the only one that doesn't transform into a 4, just on the birth, on the life path.
Yeah, it's just transferred to the other space. Yes. So yeah, we're about to go because we're getting sleepy, and I gotta go to Amazon. I had one for 95, but we will talk about these times. But so if you look at it on the spiritual spread, um, the Three of Clubs would transform into the Two of Diamonds, 9, 10, 11, 12,
And
13.
that's wild that they flip that flips around in the
Yeah.
life spread. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about that in Aquarius class, but also Andrea, me and her talked about that before. When that, but I've seen it before also, in our earlier study sessions. Aquarius kind of spoke to it a little bit in class last week also. But just being a part of your, that karmic life connections, which you've done in your past life, that you may or may not pay attention to or may need basically within this life path. So there's always this connection between your last spiritual mission and what you came here to kind of do, transform and grow what you into understand. But so yeah, we'll see you all next week. Thank you all. Replay it. It's an hour and a half, so try not to make it too long. So thank you and see you.
Thank you guys, and thank you for Joyce for saying that the weekly reads are amazing. I appreciate it. I love doing them. Enjoy this week, and we'll see you guys next Sunday.
Oh yeah, we didn't take too. We didn't look at the comments too much, but I've seen people stop commenting after a while, so I don't think there's anything. So, but the point is also ask us questions throughout the week, and we can answer them next Monday. So, you have a Three of Diamonds, you have questions, ask us, and we'll try to get on here and answer. Try to do that more as well. Let me get back to the basics. Three of Diamonds week. All right. See you.
Bye, Rashad. Bye, everybody.